Have you ever noticed that packing itself is rarely the real problem? The stress doesn't come from folding clothes. It comes from standing in front of your closet thinking, what should I take with me? Or am I forgetting anything? Packing feels stressful when too many choices are being made at once. And most women try to make all those choices when they first open the suitcase. So today, I want to walk through 5 choices you can make much earlier that will make last-minute stress packing a thing of the past. Welcome back to Gracefully Lori. I'm Lori. If you're new here, this channel is for women who want to live authentically, express themselves with intention, and move through the world with quiet, modern grace. So, how do you start? Start with choice number 1. When we think about packing, we usually think about our wardrobe first. As someone who has traveled frequently, both personally and professionally, and across 5 continents, there's a method I like to use that you probably don't know about that helps you select, organize, and pack your clothes much more quickly and easily. And it starts a few weeks before your trip. Last summer, I traveled to Sardinia. It was not a vacation where I spent all of my time on the beach. Yes, there were beach days, but there was also a full-day boat charter, tours, walking and wandering, tennis lessons I had prearranged, multiple refined dinners in beautiful settings. That's at least 5 distinct wardrobe categories at a minimum. If I had walked into my closet thinking, what do I want to bring? I would have overpacked and not packed as appropriately and efficiently as I should. Instead, I performed what I call a pre-packing clothes audit. It considers 3 factors and results in one product that makes packing incredibly fast and easy. We'll touch on that a little later. So the first factor, what does this trip require? Resort day wear, swim and beach wear, athletic wear, evening and formal dresses. And understanding my actual trip needs, broken out day by day, my travel wardrobe had its first guardrails. The second factor, what would my color story be? In this case, I used blues, whites, blacks, and pinks. By deciding my color story, I reduced options but allowed everything to work well together. And shoes, accessories, jewelry, and layers could function across all outfits. The third factor, gaps in actions. Look for any gaps in your travel wardrobe and manage the issues you see. As I audited my clothes for my trip, I discovered a pair of slacks needing alterations, a dress needing dry cleaning, a pair of sandals needing replacing, and I chose to purchase 2 strategic pieces that elevated the entire travel wardrobe. But the key with the clothes audit was the timing, because I did this several weeks before my trip, not feeling rushed, no last-minute panic purchases, no settling. Now here's the step of the clothes audit that changes everything and makes packing super simple. When I do a clothes audit, I create a folder on my phone for the trip. Every complete outfit gets photographed. Then I go through my photos, make my final choices, and label the photos. Boat day, dinner 1, tennis lesson 1, Wednesday tour, travel day, etc. So when packing day arrives, I'm not deciding or figuring anything out. I'm simply retrieving. Packing becomes implementation at that point, not creativity. That one shift alone eliminates decision fatigue. But clothing is only one piece of the stress equation. Where things get complicated is with all of the smaller items you want and need to take with you. So choice number 2. Have you ever forgotten your charging cord, your sunscreen, or some other item you need, resulting in an unnecessary trip to the store, or worse, being unable to replace the item? What if I told you there was a method to ensure that doesn't happen? One that I have used successfully across a minimum of 30 to 40 trips. More than that, my method greatly simplifies the packing process. Before we continue, if you're finding this video valuable, please consider liking the video and subscribing. Doing so helps get this video distributed to others who may want to see it. Now back to packing. Toiletries, technology, daily use items. How do you pack all of these items and not forget anything? For toiletries, most packing advice starts or suggests you use one large hanging toiletry bag or adopt kit. And on the surface that feels organized. But it also requires you to carve out a big portion of the real estate in your suitcase for a single object. I prefer what I call modular packing. I divide my toiletries into smaller functional categories. Examples: dental, shower, sink routine, pre-dress routine, each in its own small pouch or container. Why? Because smaller pouches act as filler packing. They slide into narrow edges. They tuck beside shoes. They distribute weight. They don't sacrifice a large portion of your suitcase to one bag. But the real benefit of modular packing is the ease of unpacking. When I arrive, I don't wade through layers of products searching for an item. The dental pouch goes to the sink. The shower pouch goes to the shower. The makeup pouch goes to the counter, etc. Everything quickly and easily has a home. Unpacking takes minutes, and repacking is easy because you leave your pouch container in that area. And sometimes, quite frankly, I'll just use the pouch along the way. This means I don't have to live out of a large toiletry bag all week. I also use refillable containers whenever possible, because why buy unfamiliar travel-sized products when I can use what I already love? Consistency matters when traveling, especially with skin and hair, which is even more important at my age. From a packing perspective, here's what ensures I never forget my basics. I keep them pre-packed between trips. As an example, I keep my tech bag ready to go. Chargers, adapters, cords, portable battery. It lives ready, and I simply store it as is between trips. It doesn't get rebuilt from scratch each time I travel. The same is true for most of my toiletries, dental basics, travel-sized hygiene items, small medical pouches. I never have to pack them. I simply have to refresh them. When systems like this exist, stress levels drop. But we can't forget about the small items that go into our personal items for our flights. They can make or break our getting to and from our destinations. Choice number 3. A short flight is not the same as a long-haul or overnight international flight. Lengthy flights require more careful planning to make them as stress-free as possible and to help you in a very tangible way when you arrive, which we'll get to in just a moment. I have 3 categories I think about when packing my personal item: function, comfort, contingency. Function includes items such as compression socks, my tech bag, medication, my pre-packed medical pouch with individually packaged pain relievers, decongestants, antacids, etc. Basic hygiene, makeup remover, lotion, toothbrush, minimal cosmetics, perfume. A freshen up kit with eye drops, hydrating packets, wipes, and other necessities. Comfort includes items such as warm fuzzy socks that act as slippers. I wear these over my compression socks. A large woolen pashmina that doubles as warmth and style. Base layers to change into before landing. Support for my knees. Often my tote positioned strategically, but other times I may bring a sling or something else. Contingency items include a large bottle of water purchased before boarding, preferably with electrolytes, snacks, a Kindle, or a book. Here's why this matters. When you land depleted, the first 24 hours of your trip feel difficult because you're drained from not resting well, in addition to any potential jet lag. But when you land hydrated, layered correctly, and are able to refresh before customs, you can then start your trip to take on the day. And that makes a large difference in how you experience the first day in your destination. This is intentional packing, not overpacking, and it changes everything. But there is still a major category of items we have not yet discussed, and these items can become unmanageable if not handled effectively. Choice number 4. So what are the items that often make or break an outfit? Your accessories. So how can you create a cohesive but highly versatile story with your accessories that works with your clothes but also fits well in your suitcase? I always start with the outfits I photographed in my audit. When I looked at my Sardinia outfits as an example, I asked myself, which accessories can transform these outfits? I specifically chose jewelry and accessories that crossed categories and created various types of looks. A silver necklace that worked with beach linen and dresses. A structured belt that changed proportions. Scarves that shifted tone. Hats that worked across outfits. Accessories create variation without volume. They allow you to feel distinct in each setting. They give you creative flexibility mid-trip without adding a lot of bulk. So how do we pack them? I often use things like my scarves and belts, along with other items, as filler packing inside of bags or the crowns of my hats to help them maintain their shape. For jewelry, I use small, see-through pouches that I put individual jewelry sets into. Sometimes I put all of the pouches in a case, and other times I pack them throughout my suitcase where I have small areas I don't want to leave underutilized. I'm sure you sense a theme. It's about using the space in your suitcase as effectively as possible so you can fit all of those items you really want to take. This is intentional packing, not overpacking. Now we finish with the choice that makes the physical act of packing more simple. Choice number 5. There are a lot of options, so how do you best determine the method you want to use for packing? And what do you need to think about when selecting that right packing method? Will you fold, roll, bundle wrap, use garment bags, use cubes, compressed or not? You first have to decide early on how you want to pack based on what will work best for your trip and to make sure you have the resources to follow through with that method. While too much for this video, if you would like to see the various packing methods and understand their pros and cons, please comment the word packing below and I'll create a future video specifically addressing this issue. So, what do I mean by resources? If I'm using packing cubes, making sure I have the right size and number, as well as deciding if they need to compress. If I'm packing silk, I plan for tissue paper. If I'm bringing structured hats, I plan suitcase strategy. I often choose packing cubes, not because they necessarily maximize space, but because they maximize order and create one packing efficiency that very few people ever think about, which I'll highlight in just a few minutes. To pack with cubes, I start by assigning categories. Examples: shorts, tops, athletic wear, undergarments, etc. Then using my pictures from the audit, I break down my outfits into the various categories and I pack. With cubes, unpacking is also faster. Now, here's the efficiency and the part I love the most. For items I place in a drawer, when I unpack, I place the empty cube in the drawer beside that clothing. As I wear items, I fold them and return them to the cube. So I'm slowly repacking throughout my trip. And my dirty and clean clothes remain separate. By the final day, most of the work is already done. When a method is chosen in advance and you have the right systems in place, packing becomes execution, not experimentation or chaos. Packing stress is rarely about space. It's about postponed choices. So the real key to stress-free packing is pre-packing systems, auditing your wardrobe early, maintaining your pre-packed items, anticipating your transit travel needs, leveraging accessories, choosing your packing method in advance. When these are done, packing becomes calm, not because you're rushed, but because you're prepared. If this video made you think of packing in a new way, I hope you'll like this video and consider subscribing. Both of these will help get this video out to more women who may benefit from this video. Also, please let me know in the comments if you plan to try any of these techniques. I love hearing your travel stories. So, thank you for joining me today. Until next time, my graceful friends.